Start recording. Okay, so I'm going to say that again so it's on the recording. We've been in contact with the high school regarding your placements for next year. Remember that the requirements for geometry were a B- average, a 240 or higher NWEA score, and teacher recommendation. And you have to have 2 out of those 3. So we're looking at that list and compiling it to make sure that you do get the right placement for math next year. Okay, so share my desktop. What are we doing today? I forget. Oh, we're going over sample test, right? Okay, so on Canvas, on Canvas today, make sure that you fill out the attendance link. Remember that has to be done every day by noon. Oh, see, now it's loading pretty well. So today we are live on Skype to go over your sample test from Chapter 8. This is your opportunity to ask any questions you might have before your test tomorrow. And I'll always post a link of the live Skype sessions. We did not have one yesterday, so there's no link there. But the link is posted for the video of this so that if you miss it, you can catch it at your own convenience. Okay, so I have... Where did I put it? I think I put it in the COVID folder. Okay, so we're going to start. I'm just going to open a blank copy, and I'm going to work through that just with questions you have. So you need to say, hey, Herbst, I need you to do number whatever. And I'm going to minimize this window a little bit because then I think I can still see the chat. There we go. Okay, so who wants to start? Yes, eventually you are going to see all of the answers, but the purpose here is for you to, the purpose on this one is for you to have worked through it, and maybe you got stuck on one or you weren't sure about the right answer, so these are the ones we're going to check. You're going to get all the answers in a minute, Hadley, so if you don't have a specific answer, then I don't want to answer that just yet. Anybody have a specific answer? Okay, so the directions on your test tomorrow are going to be very similar to what you see here. Your test, I'm like 99% sure at this point now, is going to be on Canvas. And we do have to talk about a couple of typing things, because if you type spaces in your answers and I don't have spaces in the answer on Canvas, or vice versa, if I put spaces in and you don't put spaces in, it counts it wrong. So in order to save myself the hassle of having to regrade, I'm going to say this several times and it will be all over that test tomorrow, we are not going to put any spaces in our answers. So I'm going to do that today while I'm working, although on my answer key I think I did type spaces because I wasn't sure how that was going to work yet. So no spaces when you're typing your answers tomorrow on your test. Because it will count it wrong, and then I'm just trying to prevent myself from having to go back and regrade by hand all the ones that you maybe missed to see if it was a space issue. I don't put spaces in anyway. Perfect. Well, here's what's happening. I'll show you on here. I'll just click on here. I mean, I get everything from, what is this, 22 and 10? Yeah. So I'll get something like this. Right? No spaces. Or I get something, this is how you always see me type it because I think the spaces make it look a little nicer. See that? Sometimes I get stuff like this. X plus, I'll put a space there. I will not put a space in this one, but I'll forget my parenthesis. Or I'll forget my parenthesis here, and I'll put a random space there and there, and then I won't put any spaces there. So I want you to just see all the different, I mean, there's so many things that could happen where it will count your answer wrong. So if I type in the answer key, this, with the spaces, you would have to have the spaces in the same spot. So what I'm going to do for my answer key for Canvas for the test tomorrow is it will look like this. Whoops, no, it will look like this one. No spaces. No spaces anywhere. So notice that, and that's what you'll have to do tomorrow on your test. But I get everything. I get stuff with spaces, I get stuff with random spaces, I get stuff where random parentheses are left off. So make sure you have both sets of parentheses, right? The front and the back on both binomials. All right. Anything on here, or you just want answers? You want answers because did we do it? Did we even try it? Attempt it? I'm sure some of you did. I'm probably going to try to get close to 25 questions. They'll be worth 2 points apiece, 50 points. That's right around the average that our tests have been in the past. Oops. Okay, well, let me, I guess, take off the other one. Okay, so if you are confused, you don't know how I got the answer that I did, you'll have to stop me. I need that pulled up, and I need that. No, that. Not that. Ugh, don't save. Okay, there we go. So number one is, and maybe I should just take my spaces out. No, I'm gonna leave them in. 6a squared b times the quantity of ab minus 5. Hopefully you have your answer key pulled up, or your sample test pulled up. Number 2, x plus 10 times x plus 2. Number 3, x minus 4 times x minus 2. Remember, we did share one day that I probably technically should be saying the quantity of x minus 4 times the quantity of x minus 2, but I'm not doing that because I'm being lazy right now. Number 4, 3x minus 1 times x plus 9. Number 5, 3x plus 2 times x minus 4. Okay, let's go on to the next section. These are the difference of squares. Your parentheses are identical here. Your signs are different. So x plus 9, x minus 9. 7x plus 4, 7x minus 4. 5a plus 6b, 5a minus 6b. And maybe make yourself a little note. These parentheses should be identical with the signs being opposite. And it doesn't matter which one comes first. You can have the subtraction before the addition, and that's fine. Now we're just straight factoring. So factors of the front number go in the front, factors of the back number go in the back. We need our inside and outside terms to give us the middle, and we want to make sure we have our signs right. So 2x minus 3 times x plus 4. X minus 8 times x minus 4. X plus 9 times x minus 3. Okay, now the last section for the factoring is where you have to take out the greatest common factor first and then factor what's left over. So I didn't show factoring out the GCF first. So if I factored a 4 out of here, I'd be left with x squared minus 2x minus 3. So then I factored that into x plus 1 times x minus 3. Don't forget that when you're factoring out the GCF first, you still have to include it in your answer. On the next one, we factored out a 4x, 3x squared plus 8x minus 3. 9 minus 1 is 8, yeah. Number 4, you can or 14, you can see I factored out a 2x squared to leave me with 16x squared minus 25. And that's a difference of squares. So then you'll notice here, parentheses are identical and the signs are opposite. 4x plus 5, 4x minus 5. Okay, let's see how we did on the review. Moving on. The solution to the equation, x equals -2. The equation for the line that's graphed, it asks it to be in slope-intercept form. That's y equals mx plus b, is y equals -4/3 x plus 4. And I don't know if any of you know, you can type an equation. Some of you probably, maybe just typed y equals -4/3 x plus 4. That's fine. You can do it that way. There's actually an equation editor that's pretty cool. If you click on Insert, I'm going to have to maximize it. Click on Insert, and then click on Equation. And the equation box will pop up, and then you'll see here there's a fraction that actually puts it top and bottom, and then you just use your cursor to type like that. You can get outside of the box and then continue to type the rest of your equation, but that's just kind of a cool trick if you didn't know how to type fractions and you wanted to know how to type like a legit fraction. In 21, the answer is B. And these numbers skip all over the place because you can see I pulled some problems out. 25, 12x squared plus x minus 6. So that's a FOIL. So are there any questions? You guys talk in any of your other classes, like actually unmute yourselves and talk, or do you all just type all the time?
I talk.
Good.
I always talk. What are you talking about?
I know Xander does. I know Amory. I hear from Xander, Macy, and Amory usually vocally. Everybody else type.
I got you, Herbst.
How much faster? Just hit your mute button and say.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Herbst. I don't want to talk. That's embarrassing. You guys have never heard my voice before.
We always hear your voice. Okay.
Oh, no, I was making fun of the other kids that don't talk.
Yeah, okay. So literally I don't see, nobody has any questions, so it sounds like you did pretty well. The test will be similar to this. I sound 5 when I talk. I sound like a dude, so it's fine. Talking over calls is weird. That's because your generation doesn't make any phone calls, right? You don't ever call anyone. And like your parents call you, probably don't answer. And you just say things like, text me.
Oh. No. I'd rather call people than talk, than text.
I've been doing a lot of FaceTiming over all of this. Every night I just pick a friend or a family member and just FaceTime. Because we're getting pretty bored around here. Okay, so we probably will Skype very briefly tomorrow before the test, only because I'll want to make sure I go over instructions. Obviously, you can use your notebook, you can use a calculator. It'll be on Canvas, so make sure that you're not going to other pages to look at stuff. I do appreciate a couple of you have kind of reached out and told me like you had a glitch or something happened. So I guess if that's it, then I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, I'm out of here.
All right, see you guys.
See you.